Welcome to Menopause Dinners. My name is Sarah and I'm your host. Not only is it me, but I have some incredible guests with me today. You can expect real stories, laughter, a few tears and some facts to help you feel not alone in this shitstorm called the menopause. So sit tight, let's ride the storm together. Welcome to Menopause Dinners. Welcome back, everyone. We are in part 2. And if you've listened to part 1, you're going to know what we were talking about. Let me get this.
Fibromyalgia in the menopause.
Yes, that's right. That's what we were talking about last time. And I really hope that you listened to part 1 and you took one bit of advice from it, because in part 2, it's going to blow you away. There's going to be so much more information. So before we do anything, let's reintroduce the guests back. So we have Kirsti. How are you doing, Kirsti? She's not saying hello. Hello, Kirsti.
Sorry. We're all good.
We have Julia.
Hi.
And we have Nicky.
Hi.
Welcome back, ladies. Welcome back. So it's good to have you back. And so before we jump into the Fibro, I'm just going to talk about the dinners part, because if you're a regular, you know that I like to make dinners that are good for menopause and post them on YouTube. So ladies last time were asking me for some gooey stuff. So I made a little carrot cake, which was like really small pieces. So about six pieces I made. And unfortunately, I did them before I had time to give the recipe to the ladies. We'll get that done next time. But my husband tried them. He said they were an 8 out of 10. He would, but who knows if they are. I thought they were great. They've got really good ingredients in them, which are great for menopause. You can check out the recipe. It's on YouTube and you can see all the details there on how you make them. I hope you enjoy. So we are going to do a quiz again with the ladies. We are going to do a quiz on what causes fibromyalgia. Now that is a good one. So ladies, you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready? 20 seconds start now.
Off you go.
Trauma.
Stress.
Grief. Accidents.
10 seconds remaining.
The job.
5.
Not being able to
4.
say no. Family issues.
2. 1. Time's up.
Oh, go on, Nicky. Was you going to say something?
Gone.
It's gone. It's the brain fog. It's gone. Okay, so there are a few things that can cause fibro, although we don't know the exact cause. Everyone's different. Dopamine decreases, so that means the mood and memory. And when we go into the menopause, estrogen declines. So that means that increased ADHD symptoms can arise because dopamine is the neurotransmitter for ADHD. Serotonin, sleep, pain, sensitivity, that can, give you all those symptoms. And again, in menopause, this decreases as well. And serotonin is also good for appetite, digestion. Noradrenaline is a neurotransmitter for the brain and hormones, which helps the pain responses. So when you get that pain response all the time when you're feeling in discomfort, that's to do with that. And again, in menopause, because estrogen declines, hot flushes then come into play, and because the regulation in your central nervous system has changed. Glutamate is a neurotransmitter in the brain. It increases normally in the cerebral spinal fluid, which can give the pain factor. And when estrogen declines, it means that the pain barrier, which has gone, will again allow more pain. So it's a bit of a double whammy, this. The pain signal becomes stronger because estrogen can't regulate. And of course, other things like stress, cognitive function, anxiety, and irritability. We've mentioned about trauma before. I've seen a lot of fibromyalgia patients over the years, and a lot of them have had some sort of trauma at some point, which can obviously deregulate the nervous system. Viral infections come up as well, but there is no particular reason sometimes. It just happens, unfortunately. So, but we are learning. So today in part 2, dare I say, we are going to unmute those buttons. I'm not sure if I want this or not. I think it's going to be a bit of chaos. But the ladies have been really wanting to talk to each other. They've all got questions. So we're going to start off with Kirsti first. So ladies, please unmute your buttons. We're all unmuted.
There you go.
All right. So Kirsti's in the hot seat. And Julia and Nicky, you can feel free to ask Kirsti whatever you like. Off you go.
So I'm going to ask, what pain relief do you use?
I'm on quite a few different ones. So my main one is slow release tramadol, and that's 100. And then I also take a booster of 50 grams if I need it. I need it pretty much every day. And then I do amitriptyline as well as a muscle relaxant of an evening.
Do you find the tramadol makes you drowsy?
No. This is going to sound a bit weird, but my drug intolerance means that I have to take, I take a lot more.
Okay.
So if you took one tramadol, I'd have to take 2, and I've been like that my entire life.
Okay.
And my son is the same.
Do you find that it actually reduces the pain?
It definitely helps. Yes.
Right, okay.
It definitely helps. And I didn't realise how much the amitriptyline actually helps overnight, and it definitely does.
And you find that relaxes your muscles enough?
Yes. Doesn't
Okay.
work every night, but, it does work.
Does it help you sleep?
Yes, it just relaxes you that little bit more. You're not drowsy with it. I couldn't say that I'm drowsy with it. And I'm on 100 milligrams. But it definitely does allow you to be in a state of rest.
Yeah.
Do you find you feel groggy the next morning?
No.
Okay.
No medication has ever made me groggy in the next morning.
So you feel all right to drive and all that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Absolutely.
Because that's what I've been quite hesitant about with medication in the past. I think because I had quite a bad experience with the gabapentin and the pregabalin, I was just like really hesitant to take anything stronger because I drive a fair distance in the morning and the evening, so.
I haven't been on those medications, and I actually refused, but I also didn't go on them because they did put me on the tramadol first, and that seemed to work straight away.
Okay.
But again, some days are better than others, as we all know.
Yeah, absolutely.
I could not on that type of medication, especially with my job. I take PR diclofenac.
Okay.
Use up people.
Yeah.
I came across it by accident, and I find that when I'm in quite a bit of pain, it will pop. It's supposed to work for 12 hours, so you have 12 hours on, 12 hours off. But on my really bad days when I was in work, I ended up topping up with morphine patches.
That's my next question for you, actually, Nicky. It was going to be, well, both of you, really. I'm looking at now, seeing if I can get a top-up of a patch. Pain patch, that's all I know.
So you would put them on for, I think it was a week. And it was like a slow release because in my job, I have to be aware of my surroundings and everything else. And I wanted to be able to function, but only on my worst days would I take the morphine patches. But they were taken off me about 10 months ago because I haven't been as much pain. I'm in a lot of pain, but the PR diclofenac, and then I top up sometimes with codeine overnight. But what I find is, because of my IBS, it then bungs me up.
Yeah.
It's really weird, isn't it? It's just trying to get that balance right. And that's really hard. But from the fibro point of view, do you know what I mean? That is just so hard. And then you're trying to put in, what you're doing for the menopause point of view. So, Julia, I wanted to say something to you because I know that you mentioned about foods smelling.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. I'm so with you on that one.
Yeah, and so say for example, we're going out for a couple of hours or going out for the day with myself and my daughter, we get a meal deal or whatever, and I'd be virtually gagging with the smell in the car. And I've always been, working in a hospital, you get used to all sorts of smells over the years. And I've got to the point now where I'm worse than when I first started nearly 30 years ago. I can't, seriously, I'm like, people talk to me about stuff. I'm like, whereas before, people could talk about anything in front of me. They could put anything in front of me and I wouldn't flinch. And now I've gone completely the other way. And again, I Googled it and it is a proper thing. People do become far less tolerant to smells, and meat. Some days I can eat meat and it's absolutely fantastic. I love it. Other days I can't even look at it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the smells for me, even in the house. I am really lucky, or not. I am the worst cook ever. So my family during COVID said, please stop, which was great because we're now 5 years post-COVID and I still don't cook.
Very lucky.
But I have to now shut our inner door. If I'm in the lounge, I shut the inner door so that I can't smell it. And if I do go out, I'm like this.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, don't be so, you're just being a drama queen. It was like, no, I'm not.
No.
And I think Sarah will laugh over this one because she knows how bad I am.
But like when I was pregnant, I couldn't stand the smell of fairy liquid, washing up liquid. It absolutely turned me. So I got to a point where I'd use like the Cova one, the chamomile and whatever one. And I started smelling the washing up liquid the other day and I was thinking, oh, it's coming back, that sort of sensation. So I think it's weird that all these little things that we think about that aren't connected, they really are connected.
Yeah, well, I was going to say,
thing, isn't it, as well? When you were pregnant, smell would...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely awful.
I can't remember which one of you said it, but you said like about the identity and that we do lose that. Do you know what I mean?
Yourself.
Yeah, I think you're right, Nicky. I know that I've really struggled the last couple of weeks and had the tears, because it's just like you do feel so on your own. And it's like, am I just dreaming this? Did this really happen? You second guess yourself because I think
that's really mad.
Yeah, and my best friend actually came with me for my fibromyalgia diagnosis, and she's not like this, turned around and said to the doctor, if you don't help her, she'll be dead in 6 months with how much she's overdosing on meds. And I would have gone blind that didn't happen, and it was all in my head, and I'm being the drama queen, but she's my proof.
I think the escalation, of how mental health and how we've struggled with our mental health, each of us have, I think that's totally underestimated by anyone that sort of knows us and who works with us, family, friends, and certainly medics. They've got no idea. I think they see, like you mentioned earlier, Nicky, about masking. I also was diagnosed with ADHD with autistic traits back in 2022, the same year my daughter was diagnosed. And I think we mask so much as women anyway. And then we mask, and you don't realise how much you're masking. And then and I think this is where the whole menopause thing came in, which Sarah mentioned earlier, is once the estrogen has dropped, you are physically, emotionally, and you're just not able to maintain that mask anymore.
Yeah, I don't
and
know.
when the shit hits the fan, it really does. And I think, we've got jobs, we've got families, we're trying to juggle everything, and I think most people just hit a point where they think, I just can't do this anymore. I've actually reached my limit.
Because one of my friends pointed out that my downward slope was probably after my hysterectomy. And it got to a point in work where I think the mask slipped and I wasn't coping. And I remember saying to one of my colleagues, I just don't want to be here anymore, because I felt like everything was an effort. And I was thinking, how can I look after people when I can't even look after myself? And I was running on empty, literally. And I was just lost all my confidence, my worth, just everything. And I think it gets to a point, I think, where you break, which I would say was last year for me. But for you to break and hit rock bottom is when, like, I've always been a fighter, and the breaks, I've always picked myself up and got back up, where last year was probably the worst year. And now I am coming out of it slowly, but you have to do it for you. And you have to realise that you are worth it. There are people that care, and you have to make the change, which is what I have done. I am making those changes.
You feel that you now pace yourself? I mean, because that's one of the words that I think we all get told, don't we? Oh, you've got to pace yourself. And then the consequences. So, for example, I had a really busy week last week. It was doing nice stuff. It was busy in the house. I met some friends and had a really nice lunch. Come Saturday and up to today, I've been poorly.
Yeah.
So I knew I had to then, it was only when I sat down in the later part of last week and was like, why do I feel like this? And then when I actually stopped and did a little bit of reflection, you then realise, now I know. Do you know what I mean? And I really struggle with that, It's the knock-on effect every time. You don't want to go out here because you know you're going to have the knock-on effect. Or can I go here? No, because I need to have a sleep first. And that's just crazy.
I struggle in the afternoon. I think come about 3 o'clock, I hit a bit of a brick wall, constantly yawning. I'm very fatigued. I can't nap. I wish I could nap. And because I'm getting myself back to work in like the next week or so while I've been off, I'm trying to keep busy every day doing something. But I was seeing someone up until recently, like a one-to-one, and she said to me, Nicky, one thing at a time. No point me worrying about what I'm doing on Saturday, because Saturday hasn't come. Let's think about what I'm doing tomorrow. Like, I've got an interview tomorrow.
Good luck.
Good luck. Good luck.
So I am doing one day at a time. But I'm terrible for doing 100 things and filling my day, and then I'm just exhausted.
Absolutely exhausted. And Sarah knows, because I've done it several times and then gone to her and been in exactly the same boat. Do you get any of the extras? Like I said I really suffer with the indigestion.
I mean, you say about the indigestion. So it got to the point where I was sleeping virtually upright.
Oh my God, yes, absolutely.
Because of the reflux. So I went on omeprazole, but I've changed my diet, I would say, in the past 6 months or so, and it's been much better. So I don't need to take it every day, but I find certain things like cheese, anything that's a bit fatty or dairy seems to be the main thing with me. And I've reduced, actually, the quantity of food I'm eating in the evening is much smaller. and that seems to have helped loads.
I'm going to stop you there. We need to hot seat over so we don't go over time. So, questions for Julia about her story? Start now.
Right. Well, my first question, Julia, if this is okay, is the negative results. How both of you really can apply to, we always go for the tests and everything else. They come back negative. How have you found that? How have you negotiated that one?
I think I'm quite a persistent person. And I ended up, I went through NHS and I went through private testing as well. And it was equally as bad as the other, what shall I say? But that was the conclusion from the tests was that. So I went private thinking that they were going to offer me the golden ticket of, a remedy or something that was going to help. And it was suggested that I should try kinesiology.
Oh, yeah. I was told to make sure I keep doing my chi.
And I was like, I'm all for alternative practice, but I think at the time I needed something, anyway. So being persistent and that thing of thinking, no, something is wrong. I know something's wrong because I can't function. Because just prior, when I said earlier about walking my daughter to school, at that point, I'd actually lost about 3.5 to 4 stone.
Wow.
And I was at my fittest. I was running 10Ks and doing Taibo and Zumba and all this other stuff. And I was proper fit. I was doing spin classes and everything.
I used to love spinning.
Yeah.
I used to. Have you done that, Nicky?
So I went to boot camp for about 8 years, twice a week in the evening in the local park. But what I found was I was getting injuries like the kettlebells. I couldn't swing them because my elbow kept going, and I kept thinking it was tennis elbow, but it's probably related to the fibro. And then it was my shoulder, which I was told for 8 years impingement. And then I got an X-ray, and the consultant told me I had osteoarthritis with bone spurs. So that one was operated on about, I think that was 5-6 years ago. So I have a lot of things going on, but I want to get back to some kind of exercise. But my problem is I don't eat enough. I lost all the weight by the fasting and not drinking alcohol. But the knock-on effect of the fasting is I don't really eat. So for me to have more energy, I know I have to eat. So it's changing everything, which I've had like a massive overhaul within the last probably 8 weeks of small and trying to eat often, whether it's a bowl porridge or Weetabix or protein and stuff. So all my things that I'm changing are making me feel better because the only person, like, I don't want to feel sorry for myself anymore. I've got the diagnosis of the ADHD, I've got the fibro, I've got my nerve pain, all the other things, but there's no point me searching anymore now because I have my answers, and the only way is to move forward.
Did anyone have any of you had bursitis?
Yes.
Oh, I've had bursitis of the hips.
Yes.
We know about those hips, Kirsti.
So it's sort of just below your hip in the top of your thigh. So
no, mine was in the back, the bum hip. So mine was back hip.
No, it's in the trochanter. Yours is where the bursa is.
That's why I had Kirsti.
Oh, honestly, that's worse than childbirth.
Yeah. So I used to get regular steroid injections
That's it. Yeah.
in my hip. I've had it in my elbow as well, which was really painful. But I had the bursitis in my hip for years. But I'm currently waiting for a right hip replacement, 2 knees,
Oh, sweetie.
and so I've got psoriatic arthritis in my hands and my feet, and I've got osteoarthritis in my hips and my knees and my back.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So it's teasing out what belongs. Again, it's that thing of what belongs where kind of thing. But ultimately, it's like, right, what's hurting today, and what do I need to do? And trying to.
Yeah, I really liked what you said. That literally, what can I do? Doesn't matter where the pain's coming from. It is a pain. How do we address it? That's something I'm going to definitely be taking forward. So thank you for that one.
So I think that's what I had in my elbow was the bursitis there, but I have had like a lot of different things because it's weird because for a couple of months it could be your knee and then it could be your hip and then it's your wrists. My hands are shocking at the moment. I can't do unscrewing, twisting. I try not to be on my phone for too long because my pads of my fingers.
That's a silly question. I know. Do you know what I mean? Does anyone's ears itch?
Oh, yes.
Oh my God!
I think that's quite common in not just fibro, but in menopause as well.
Well, I actually didn't realise that.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
is.
So, and my friend told me, I said, Kirsti, you've always got your finger in your ear.
Yeah, I'm always like that.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? You just do it. It's so nice to say, my ears are itchy and people get it. Do you know what I mean?
That's sorry.
Can I suggest, Sarah, that we do like a menopause bingo? Like a fibro menopause bingo where you say, do you get this? Tick. And she'll get like a full house.
I think you could do that. You could actually create a ball game. You don't have to do it online.
I think you should do that, Sarah.
No, I think there's a lot of things we can do definitely after this. So I'm going to put Nicky in the hot seat, and then we've got some tips coming up for anyone that's listening. So, Nicky, anyone want to ask Nicky a question?
How do you work with your pain, Nicky?
So I have recently, I'm terrible for just getting on with it till it gets to a point where I'm agitated and just can't cope with it. So I've started having my diclofenac in the morning to keep on top of it. But last year, a year ago, March, I did a cold dip for my birthday. And it was like a LED sauna and then the cold ice dip. I was in shock the first time I'd done it. And the second time I did it, in that hour that I was there, I loved it. Then in November, I got into a stream and I spent 12 minutes in the stream.
Wow.
So this year, moving forward, mindset, and I did 4 3-minute ice dips yesterday with a friend with the LED sauna. On a Sunday morning, I go to the local beach and marina, and I have done 2 cold dips the last 2 Sundays. And the way I feel, it releases all your endorphins. You get such a buzz for the rest of the day.
Does it not sting?
So your body apparently is memory. So when you first start your ice dips, your body has to remember that you're doing it. So each time I would say it would get easier.
I just know for me personally, I can't get into cold water. Do you know what I mean? Even if the swimming pool's a bit cold.
Kirsti, I'll chuck you in.
Oh, thanks, Sarah.
Even light water. My 2 daughters are swimmers. And for me to do this, And what I've learned, because I've also been doing meditation, and it's all about your mindset and telling yourself that you can do this, you can breathe through it, it's beneficial to your body, it improves your circulation. Because, like, my hands and feet are cold constantly. And what I've noticed is the pins and needles about an hour later. And what that is, it's the blood going to your toes, into your fingers. And honestly, I cannot, like, I introduced my friend to it yesterday, who was adamant, and she did 3 2-minute dips yesterday.
Wow.
4 days ago, my other friend, she did 3 minutes. So I'm introduced, they're calling me Nicky Hot. That's my name.
That's great.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. And the meditation as well.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm feeling quite overwhelmed and my brain's running away, because why is it when your brain is telling you all the horrible things, that you're not a good person, that you're just awful, why not change it around and say how wonderful you are?
I think there's something in that. Do you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
think my only issue is, come on, Coach, you're braver than this. Do you know what I mean? So don't be stupid. You're being a tart. You're stronger than this. And I just think, oh no, somebody else could do with this. Could manage the pain better. Do you know what I mean? I'm berating myself for not being
exactly. So
as a warrior.
Back and like, applaud yourself and say how strong a woman you are. And
That's a really good way, Nicky.
Yeah, how brave you are. I'm trying to change all my mindset to positivity and light.
Nicky, can I tell you about something that I've mentioned before, and it's to do with a CBT course, just because you're talking about that. The CBT course is called the Decider. Now, the Decider, you do have to pay for it, but it's the best CBT course I've ever done. I did it when I first entered my menopause because I was struggling with a few things, but it goes through everything what you're saying about how to reinforce positivity, reinforce positive thoughts, and come away from the negativity. And it's something that I would recommend anyone that is struggling with something, if you can afford it, to do it, because I learnt so much, and there's 2 things to this day that I still do from it without thinking, because it's just stuck. So I just wanted to put that out there, because we're talking about changing, the way.
And what's it called, Sarah?
It's called the Decider. So here's the thing, right? You create 2 playlists on your phone. Obviously, music is a massive, important part of helping ourselves. And what it tells you to do is to create a sad one and an angry one. So normally when you're feeling really sad, someone will say to you, go and do something cheerful to make yourself happy, right? But what they're saying is that you shouldn't do it that way, because it takes at least 20 minutes for your body to reset. So you have to start off with feeling sad. So you choose a playlist that's really, really sad, and then you gradually make your playlist for about 20 minutes, and then you end up with a happy song. So you could start off with something like, my one is REM, Everyone Hurts, because that's a real tearjerker. Yeah, I know.
One.
And then at the end, I've got Lionel Richie, a bit of dancing on the ceiling, So, but
go on, Sarah.
Well, there you go. You get the idea. So it takes 20 minutes to reset your brain, and they do an angry one. So they do one where, again, you're feeling really angry and you don't know what to do with this aggression. You start off with a playlist where it starts off really angry music, whatever that is for you. For me, it's a bit of Metallica. And then at the end, it goes to something really happy. So it could be something like Gregory Porter. Yeah. So it's complete chalk and cheese, but it helps your nervous system calm down rather than saying to yourself, get out of it, because you can't get out of it when you're in it. You have
No,
to.
but I'm really going to look at that. That sounds
honestly,
really good.
it's the best thing that I've ever done, and it's great.
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
Is that if everyone's on Spotify, then we can share playlists.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Oh, you might not like my one. It's a bit heavy, but yeah.
I knew you'd say it. I knew you'd say it. I had you written down as metalhead.
Thank you. It's changed a lot over the years. It was heavy metal, and now it's everything. I love everything. But anyway, so I wanted to say that. So Nicky shared her things that she does, the ice baths and the meditation. And the meditation, I just want to ask you, how did you come across that? Did you do an app? Did someone help you with that? Have you meditated before?
So my cousin introduced me to Reiki, and she said that for the hour I was snoring away. And when you're struggling to sleep, I started incorporating the meditation. I have this beautiful angel music. I've been to the sound bath, but I don't see the point of paying for that. I would rather just put the meditation on myself and just take an hour for yourself, because that is what you're doing. You're taking yourself out of the environment of whether it's work or a stressful day, and taking an hour for yourself to bring you back down to a level where you're okay.
I think meditation is amazing. And
It's underrated. I'm just getting into that. Can I ask what other things that you've done that have helped?
So I have taken CBD oil. So I found that the oil relaxes me a little bit. Didn't help me sleep.
No.
No.
Have you found anything else? Reading. Okay, so for me, I've got a heat blanket.
Yeah.
I've got a neck heat blanket. I've got a body heat blanket. I've now got a body massager. I've got a shoulder massage. Oh God, honestly, do you know what I mean? Any contractions?
Sorry, I'm going a bit somewhere else with that. Can you not say that in front of me, please, Kirsti?
I'm just wrong, Sarah. But I just, I'm even looking at getting a massage chair. Because you just feel
into a proper massage, because that's something else I've been having. I don't want a aromatherapy rub.
No, I want.
So the person where I go, who I've been using for a year, has the scrapey thing. He has the cups.
Sarah's got it all.
And he digs into their muscle.
What Sarah can't do to your body is no one's business. I'm telling you.
Do you know what? Actually, there is something that I will suggest that I've not tried myself, but I've seen so many people try it. It's the grounding mats.
Is that the sparky ones?
Yeah. There's a few things. There's ones that you can stand on, and they I think and they're supposed to drain lots of any toxicity.
Is that what they're called though? The grounding mats?
Yeah, but there's also the other ones which you lie on, and they have similar to acupressure. Yeah. And people have actually said that that's really beneficial for chronic fatigue.
The other thing that is very good is just things like, I know it's been wet, but walking, sitting or lying on grass and just being on the ground.
Yes.
Walking along
grounding.
Yeah.
Going in for a dip in the sea. So if you're not able to go right in, it's just paddling. Walking in a forest, walking in woods.
Yeah.
And literally grounding yourself naturally then, if you didn't want it, because it sounds as if we bought a few things now, Kirsti, so maybe another purchase.
I even bought a dog. So maybe I can take the dog for a walk and get a bit of grounding that way.
100%.
That I read was the Epsom salt. So I'm waiting
I do that, yeah.
And apparently, when you put the Epsom salt into a foot soak, it draws out, I don't know, I haven't tried it yet, all the impurities from
I do that in a bath, and that's really nice.
Yeah.
I've never done that, so
You should try that. It's very good. Magnesium, Epsom salts have quite a few, but there are magnesium ones which are better, because magnesium is so important for muscle nerve function. But the thing with these salts, what you do have to be careful of is that they make the water hotter. So if you put it in a bath, keep an eye on that temperature. Yeah, and slippy. So if you get in, you could slide away like a little toboggan.
Yeah, bear that one in mind. Okay.
So I just want to talk about other things we've tried. I mean, I just want to say about supplementation. So we said magnesium, vitamin D, B-vits as well, which helps synthesize serotonin. I love things like natural supplementation. If you know me, you know I'm all about that. But 5-HTP plus is incredible for mood, nervous regulation as well, and for sleep. Now, I've started taking this, and I take this with my evening meal, which I'm going to have hopefully very soon. And I take it of a night, and it really helps me sleep.
Where'd you get it from?
You can get it from anywhere.
Amazon?
Amazon, anything. It's
called?
It's so 5-HTP, and it helps with the transmitters in the brain.
Plus.
So
5-HTP.
That's it.
Plus.
That's it. Just put in 5-HTP. So what you can do with this, you can have it before you go to bed, and if you wake up at night, you can take one at night. But you have to, like I'm going to say at the end, with any supplementation, you have to look into it. So, but it works well for me. And also you've got things like ashwagandha, which helps with the nerve system, which calms you down. So if you're feeling a little bit stressed, I like to take this about midday, just in case I'm feeling a bit stressed in the afternoon. Because I'm very similar to you, Nicky, 3 o'clock, even though I'm not in your Fibro gang, 3 o'clock for me, I start getting a bit anxious. So I take it, and then it kind of helps me go through that. So yeah.
Can I ask one more question about the Fibro thing? Sorry, Sarah. Ladies, do you get the restless legs?
Yes.
yeah.
Right. Okay.
So I
What do you do for that?
I don't. Well, the only thing I do, I've got an electric blanket that I put on in my bed, so I put that on a couple of hours before I go to bed, so I can climb into a warm bed. And some nights I just keep it on low, like number 1. So I've just got a really low heat coming through, and that seems, for me personally, that seems to be the thing that sort of helps me the most, is just low heat coming through, and my legs are much less restless. I take magnesium, I take collagen, and I take iron and like a multivitamin mineral as well.
I have a lot of hot water bottles. If I'm doing anything, I have a hot water bottle on the back, and then I've got one of those 4.5 foot long ones, which is next to me now, and I have that with my legs on it. But I call it stretchy legs. I feel like you just keep stretching your legs to get that sort of relief. But especially after me, like working long hours and stuff.
And that's actually quite important, stretching. For either menopause or fibro, stretching. Okay, ladies, so I've got a few questions, but before we do that, I'm just going to go around to you one more time very quickly. Give me one thing that you can recommend someone else to try. So whether it's a supplementation, so just very quickly, Kirsti.
Massage mat.
Julia?
Talking to people.
And Nicky?
Cold dips all the way.
Yes. Cold dips. Go, go, go. So I've got 2 questions for you before we wrap up. So the first one, and I know that I've asked one of you this before. I think it might have been you, Julia. Secluded. What does secluded mean? Do you feel, because you have fibromyalgia, do you feel secluded in the menopause? Yeah. Why do you feel secluded, Julia?
I think. Okay, so like Nicky was saying earlier, I think, and maybe this is part of ADHD as well, is that I've noticed as I've got older that I can be an extrovert on the surface, but actually I'm quite a homebody, home bird. So I like socializing, but I like my quiet, introverted, alone time as well. I need that to recharge. That's my recharging. I think my fibro over the years has changed how I thought I could live, if that makes sense. So whereas before perhaps I could be a lot more spontaneous and not think about where I was going or what I was doing, I think fibro and the menopause, together and separately, can make you have to think much more about if you're going on a journey or if you're going for a day out or if you're meeting friends or whatever. And sometimes I think all of that micro planning is just too much. And so I think sometimes I've isolated myself more because I just can't be doing with it. I just think, oh God, it's just too much. Yeah. I can't gauge whether I can be to sit down where I go. I walk with a stick. Is it going to be all these little things that perhaps we take for granted? And so I think it can make you feel very isolated. And I know at times I have deliberately isolated myself because I haven't felt able. I haven't felt able to manage all of that as well. Does it make me feel safe? I think it takes all that pressure out of the equation. So it's just like, oh, great, I can just sit here and I can, if I need to go to sleep, I can. If I just need to potter around the house this afternoon, I can. There's just no pressure. And I think it's taking the pressure out. But I think doing all of that can also make you feel quite isolated.
And what about you, Nicky? What do you feel the same?
I was in a pattern of isolating myself, but it's only the last couple of months I've realised that it was my safe space. But I had to get myself, that's why I've done it this year. I have to make just changes to my life because I am not living. I'm just existing, going to work, coming home. So I want to make changes for myself for a better future for me.
And I think what you said, sorry to interrupt, what you said before, this is just, I think what you're doing is incredible. You're just really taking the bull by the horns and trying to, make things better for yourself.
Yeah, one day at a time.
One day at a time.
One thing at a time.
Exactly. And Kirsti?
What?
Kirsten, your fur baby.
Oh, sorry, yeah, Queenie's in here now.
Queenie, oh Queenie, do you miss me?
She does. I think that you're both right. You can really isolate yourself. One of the biggest things that I found literally in the last 3 weeks is I went to yoga, even though I felt rubbish and I couldn't do all the moves. I did what I could.
Yeah.
And that actually opened my eyes to go again.
Exactly.
Yeah, good on you.
And I was the gym bunny doing, as we've said, the body pump and the spinning and all of it. And it went from going 5 times a week to barely going once every 3 months. So I'm now kind of doing at least 1 day a week.
Well,
and hoping to build it up.
Well done. Okay. So my last question, and this is just something quick fire round. Julia, what would you like to see more of to do with fibromyalgia and menopause? Give me one thing. Go.
Can I only say one thing?
No, you can go. Go on. You can say a couple. Go on.
I think it needs to be, I think women's health needs to be rehauled insofar as education and making sure that women have the screening that they need, particularly at certain points of their life. And that screening is then whatever comes of that screening is that there's a proper diagnostic pathway that treats the whole person and not bits of people, because all the bits, certainly with fibromyalgia, come together.
Yes, and no doctor does that.
No, they don't. So I think there needs to be proper education. There needs to be proper diagnostic screening, and then diagnostic pathways, and then follow-up treatments and clinics. Because there isn't.
You couldn't have said that any better. That's bang on. And Nicky, so my question to you is, in menopause, do you think there is enough support for fibromyalgia in menopause?
I wouldn't say so. Like, I think in work, I was on a slow decline, and I think workplaces have to be aware of the situations that these women are feeling, and there needs to be more people to talk about it, and where they can look at the video and say, wow, that is exactly how I'm feeling. And that is the only way we are going to get the word across that it is okay to feel like this.
Yeah, definitely. And Kirsti, we finished with you. Have you got what you wanted today?
Absolutely. I can't thank you enough for organising this, and I can't thank both Julia and Nicky for everything. It's really sits in my heart, honestly.
That's brilliant. That's
I kept in
brilliant.
tears, do you know what I mean? Because I could have cried a couple of times just by the inclusion of us three.
It's refreshing.
Isn't it? It really is. At the moment, I feel on top of the world. Thank you.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Ladies, we are coming to the end. I just want to say thank you to all of you for tonight. I know it's quite late now, but I think this is really going to help a lot of women when they hear it. So I just want to, I just really want to say thank you so much for your time. So I am going to wrap this up now, but these ladies deserve a standing ovation if I could, but I can't give you an applause. So I just want to say thank you, Julia, for coming on. Have you enjoyed it?
It's been brilliant. Thank you, ladies.
I'm glad you come along, Nicky. Thank you.
You're welcome. I've loved it.
You've done brilliantly. And Kirsti, as always, thank you for being a part of the podcast.
I just want to know when the next one is.
When's the next one? I think we're recording next week, aren't we? No, we're not. Week after. But, okay, so listen up. If you are listening to this and you want to be involved, we don't have to stop with this just one podcast. This is kind of like testing the water. So let's see what comes up from everyone. There could be some stuff coming from it. We'll wait and see. But let's just wrap everything up now. So I just want to say thank you for listening. I really, really hope that you've got something from today, whether it's been more understanding to other women and men that have fibromyalgia, that you just know that it's just not someone making something up to get some disability money. You know that there's something wrong with them. For me, I've definitely learned more about fibromyalgia. I mean, like I said, I've written dissertations, I've treated people with it, but I've not actually had a proper conversation with more than one person that's going through their menopause with it, and it makes me really appreciate my menopause a lot more. So I just really am grateful for that, and I really hope that other women will listen to this and think, do you know what? These ladies are putting up with a lot. So, let's just take one day at a time and get through everything. But it's that time. So if you want to be a guest, no experience is needed. Contact me on menopausedinners@gmail.com or any of the platforms. Remember to like, rate and subscribe and join from wherever you are to let us know we're doing a good job. There's now a monetisation button because we're non-profit, so every little bit helps to let us continue doing this work. So before you go, I just want to remind you that menopause does suck. But with friends, it sucks a whole lot less. I will see you next time on Menopause Dinners. Thank you, ladies.
Bye. Bye. Thanks, everyone. Thank you. Bye.
Menopause Dinners is sponsored by Fitness Therapy for You. Information we share on food and supplementation is from our own experiences, and if you're suffering from a medical condition, please get medical advice before trying any supplementations.